And you think, well, if you think Justin's joining, then I guess. I will call the meeting to order at 4:12. And welcome everyone, Diane and Darnella, to the meeting. We have two action items today on the August 21st agenda. The first one is the minutes from March 20th. If you take a look at the March 20th meeting minutes, it looks like it's April 17th or March 20th. What's going on here? Let's see.
It was one NRSA building rehab grant.
It looks like the date, April
March.
17th.
April 17th.
April 17th. Right, okay. So we're looking at the April 17th meeting minutes. If there are no objections or any edits, can I get a motion that we approve these?
What are y'all doing?
We're just having a meeting.
That's true. That's true. If I don't
I'm guessing she was not talking to us.
okay, if I don't
Not
vote,
at all.
okay, so if I don't vote, I usually don't move or second, so that leaves it up to you
okay,
two.
okay. Oh, right. So, Darnella, do you want to make a motion to approve the April 17th
I
meeting minutes?
did. I thought maybe I was yelling at my grandkids, but
I didn't hear you. Your mic is off.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes from April 17th.
All right, I guess I'll second that. And if there's no further discussion, It's been moved and properly seconded that we approve the minutes from the April 17th meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, unanimously approved. We move on to item number 2, that we have a new loan request from Labyrinth. Stephen, do you want to say something about that?
Sure. Desiree Jackson has a business called Labyrinth Parlor and Spa. It is currently in operation in downtown Winston-Salem. What's that, Darnell?
Is that grandbaby action going on over there?
Sounds like it. Go ahead, Stephen.
I want some
but
grandbaby.
but
Anyway,
she approached us about taking advantage of the small business loan program. If you recall, for a few years, a lot of the downtown area was not included in the NRSA, the Neighborhood Revitalization Strategy area, which is one of the eligibility factors for the small business loan program. That area was expanded in the early part of this year in January to include some of the old areas that were included, but also a few newer areas as well. The applicant wanted to pursue the program in order to try to install what they call a float room, and they'll also have some additional operational costs on top of that. They do have some quite a lot of collateral to be offered along with this loan, and they've also invested quite a lot of their own money into this business already. They're going to be here to answer questions about this application and this request, but you all got a pretty complete loan package whenever that information went out as well.
I'm sorry. So you said this is an existing business?
It is, and they
I wasn't clear about that.
Yeah, she's been in operation for a few months now, and they're looking to expand it by adding an additional, adding some equipment essentially to the spa room. She'll be able to explain this a lot better than me. I'm not an expert on spa related things.
That was kind of my whole issue with this application, is I didn't understand it well, or probably just because it's looked like something I would never go to. So yeah, and I just wondered what a floating spa was, and does it need Davis bacon?
I think that's a wonderful question to ask Miss Jackson.
Davis Bacon?
Well, I mean, if you've got to install it and it's floating, and it implies plumbing and electrical and stuff like that, so.
All right. Well, so she wants to do this presentation. She's going to do this presentation. We have it here.
Yes, that's right. I can just allow her in, and we can welcome her into the loan committee.
Okay. Hello, Miss Jackson.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, thanks. Trying to get the sun out of my face there.
It's all right. Well, welcome to our August Small Business Loan Committee meeting.
Thank you.
We have your business plan and some financials, and we look forward to hearing more about what you're doing and what you plan to do.
Okay. Do you want me to start?
Sure.
Okay. Well, so I started this medical spa here in Winston-Salem. I'm a Winston-Salem native, so I know the area really well. Sorry, my dog's playing with the toy over here. She's making a lot of noise. I am doing the medical spa, and I really wanted to focus on helping the autistic kids. I'm a teacher. I've been teaching for the past 3 years, and I've noticed that me and autistic kids have like a really strong bond. And I really wanted to figure out a way that I could help them with my business. And so I came across the float room aspect, and when I found out that it was really beneficial for autism, I started doing a lot of research, and I just kind of was thinking that if we started using it early on with their with the kids when they're a little bit younger, would it help with their social emotional behaviors? um and so that's really what I'm gearing towards right now, is basically just trying to use the float room for basic for I would say nonprofit. I'm not going to charge anyone to come in and use it, but my idea was to have them come in early age, start using the equipment, see if it helps with their behavior, and if it does, then they can use it more often, um and kind of go from there.
Could you explain what a float room is?
Yeah, so a float room is basically a sensory deprivation room. It is it's basically a small pool that comes a little bit above your ankles, and you're supposed to lay in this room and or in this pool, and it will cut off all of your senses. So it's supposed to give you complete relaxation, meditation, and cut off the brain essentially.
Is that in that, when did you open?
2 months ago.
And so what you want to add the float room to your current facility?
Yes, ma'am.
Gotcha. I didn't see anything about is that part about the autism treatment in your business plan?
It is. There's a quite a bit of detail I go
Oh, I see.
into.
I see.
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. So how
Yes.
have the first 2 months been going?
They've been very well, so it is the slower season right now. But I think that it's been going pretty consistent. And I do believe that once I get more of the word out, I think people don't really know that I'm there quite yet. And I feel like once I get more of the word out, it will pick up.
Okay. And how are you marketing?
Yeah, so I did a interview with Fox 8 News. We have social media. I am actually really popular on social media. I got popular from from Twitter and from TikTok. So I've been doing TMZ lives as well. They actually reached out to me, asked me if I could be on the show. So I kind of market on there sometimes. So I do TikTok, we do Instagram. I'm working with the Go to Winston. I have also talked to the Downtown Winston-Salem Partnership and Jason Thale. Since I've been working on this for so long, there's a lot of people that know me, and I bartend as well. So I kind of do a lot of word of mouth. So I'm using more of I feel like old fashioned ways of marketing, word of mouth, passing out flyers, going to different places and I think, people will be that would be interested in coming and talking to them face to face, things like that.
Okay. So what are the services you're providing now that you don't have the float room?
So we have waxing services, so Brazilians, any facial waxing, we have bikini line waxing. We also have underarm waxings. We have facials. We have Botox and fillers, and we are adding on weight loss management. I'm working with a general surgeon who is very passionate about weight loss management, and so we're working on adding that to it as well.
Okay. And so these startup expenses that are listed here, these are things that you've already acquired.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yes, ma'am, for the most part, yeah.
And there's room in your current facility to add a float room, and does that require construction?
It does require construction. I've been working with Andy Lupina, who's the owner of Alliance architecture firm, and he has come in. He's been working very closely with the manufacturers of the float room to figure out exactly how we can get it in, and we figured out a way to put it into the space, and it will fit. Yes, ma'am.
Well, I wish all more of you said it is what it is. I'll be glad when we get done because I'll talk with the relationship. And like all the vendors, not all the people.
So I'm looking here. So what is the amount of this request?
I asked for the $100,000 so that I could get the float room in, and then I also wanted to pay for my monthly expenses, and then pay my employees. So that's why I was asking for that amount of money.
And how many employees do you have?
So it's myself. I have two RNs, two RNs. I have two estheticians, and then I have two doctors. And one doctor is virtual. The other doctor is actually here. She's from Raleigh, but she'll be coming back and forth. And that's the only reason why we have two doctors, is because the doctor that's here, she's not as experienced as the doctor that's virtual.
So what kind of licensure do you need? You have doctors and medical staff.
Yeah, we're already licensed with the medical board.
I mean, sorry.
That's okay. It cut off right when you started.
Okay. So what are you licensed as? Like a medical facility or a beauty or spa type thing or what?
Yeah, we're licensed as a medical spa. So, yeah, yeah, that's all I know.
So in the projections that I'm looking at, you're anticipating over $60,000 of revenue per month. And so how long do you think it's going to take you to get to that point?
So from my research, they say that it takes a good 2 years before it starts to kind of really turn around. I think it might be a little bit quicker for me for that. I think maybe about a year for me to get that number.
And how much working capital do you have now?
$100,000.
And your monthly expenses here looks like, let's see,
It's like $13,000. I believe that's what.
mm,
I think it says 13,
it's
around
14 it says 14, but yeah, 13, you think 13 a month
Yes, ma'am.
expenses?
Mm-hmm.
That includes, that's
Hey,
before, that's your 6 staff people,
yes, ma'am.
your rent.
Yes, ma'am. The rent, and then it would be included in the payment of what I have to pay back for the working capital. And then that also includes just our supplies, um, and then our utilities. As you can imagine, the supplies are fairly expensive, especially when it comes to the medical side.
I'm surprised your insurance isn't higher. It says
I was
on
surprised that too.
$91 a month.
Yeah, the insurance, I thought that was going to be a little bit higher too, but it was not that bad actually.
Hmm.
Yeah, and so that was, yeah, the insurance is in there, and I believe that has like legal fees, different things like that that I would have during the month, or just monthly occurrences. I have to pay for the website. I have to pay for the CRM and the sales, the Square sales point of sales. Um, Trying to think of everything else that's on the list. We have monthly parking that I have to pay for.
I guess your licenses, right? You have license fees. You said that part.
And that's yearly, the license with the state board and with, of course, with the state, the Secretary of State, that is yearly that we have to pay. We don't have any monthly licensing, but the doctor is pretty expensive, and then the bulk of it is the doctor and the supplies for the medical side. The Botox and the fillers are pretty expensive.
All right. And so you've been doing this, you opened your spa 2 months ago, but have you been in this industry for a while?
I have. So I studied cosmetology. And so and that's a big reason why I bought the doctor's on, because I'm not really that versed in terms of medical, but I'm planning on starting school for RN next May at Winston-Salem State. So I could be a little bit more versed in that part, but I am background in cosmetology. So I've worked in several different spas and salons for over 10 years. And yeah, I absolutely love it. I've worked at the front desk for a really long time. Since I was like 16 years old, I've worked at the front desk of a spa or salon. So I feel like I know that arena really, really well. So that's what I'm doing right now, is just manning the front desk.
So I'm trying to think what are the popular spas in Winston-Salem that are doing what you're doing? I know there's
Yeah.
one over there in Renolda Village.
So that's European Day Spa. So they don't have any Botox or fillers or anything like that, but it's I think it's restoration or restore. Dang it, I can't think. It starts with an R, and I can't think of it right off the top of my head. But I know the name, the owner's name. Her name is Marissa. Um, Rejuvenate, something like that. But it's restoration, rejuvenate. It's in my business plan. But she's one of the biggest medical spas around here, that when people just start talking about it, they because I actually was going to hire a girl that worked there. That's the biggest one that people talk about. Marissa actually is doing the training for the supply company for the Botox and fillers, so she's very, very trained and it seems like she really knows the ropes on that one. And then also there's a Sona Med Spa that is pretty big. It's one on Stratford. That I think that's Restoration Med Spa is the one on Stratford actually, and that's the one Marissa's at.
I'll see
But
the
those
list.
are okay, yeah, those are the biggest ones.
Well, I've tried Botox once and I went to a doctor's office and it gave me a headache. I didn't like it.
Oh, really? Wow, that's interesting. See, I haven't tried, I'm gonna be honest, I haven't tried any of it yet. I haven't done any of the fillers or Botox. I don't really feel like I need it, but they said that some of it is supposed to help with like migraines and headaches and stuff.
Yeah,
So that's
I heard
interesting to
good.
hear.
Yeah.
Well, that's really interesting to hear that it gave you a headache. I'm sorry about that.
No,
And I
no,
still look
yeah.
old. All right. Well, any other questions from the committee for Desiree?
I did want to add, and I completely forgot to say this earlier, but the reason why the float room I believe will be beneficial is because, you know, with autism, the whole thing is a sensory overload. So I'm hoping that if we cut off the senses for a little bit, maybe it will like kind of recalibrate them and they'll be able to like function a little bit better around others. So you know, it's a study and I'm hoping that it will be beneficial, but that was the reason why I got interested in it.
But
And
it
that
sounds,
service is going to be free.
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, that was what I was going to say. It sounds like that's kind of separate from your business. I mean, it's something you're offering for the, um, as a service to, or like pro bono type thing.
Right, correct. And because because they get so overloaded, I'm hoping that they can come like before or after hours with their guardian or parent and then like they can and if they see that if it works, then they can just keep coming. And then I've also have the business signed up as a small business innovation research center. So I'm hoping that I can send this to the government and they can actually track it. And if it works, then they can, do it more for others.
Do you
In
know of
terms of
any other float rooms in the area?
You're on mute.
Desiree, do you know of any other float rooms in the area?
Oh my goodness, I'm sorry, I got muted. So I do know that there is a float room in Greensboro, but I don't know of any other than that. And I think there is maybe a float pod, but the only room that I've heard about is the one in Greensboro. But specifically the ocean float room, I would be the only one that has it in North Carolina.
And what do you think that's going to add to your profits? How much will that add to your
Well,
revenue?
so
Mm.
people can like regular people can use it. It doesn't have to just be for the autism kids. I was just thinking that's my way of giving back. But the lady that had the manufacturer, she says that it pays itself back within a couple of months. It's a $160 service. And so I've heard I've had several people ask about it. So I'm hoping that it kicks off, but I've heard good things about it. People are really interested.
All right. Any other questions? Anything else you'd like to share?
I don't think so.
For the first 2 months, what did you, how many services did you provide?
So, like I said, this is the slow season. Apparently, June and July are for spas and salons don't really do too much of a profit. But I consistently had like two people in a week, which, like I said, I think is pretty slow. I really believe that now that school is back in, people aren't traveling as much, you know, the college students are really the ones that are coming in a lot for more Botox and fillers. And we haven't had any college students in for the past couple months. So I believe that once this hump is over, it's really going to turn around. I met up with an owner of a medical spa that hadn't too long opened in High Point, and she told me that that it's just a horrible slow season during the summer.
Okay. Darnella, any more questions?
No. Mm-mm.
Diane? All right. Well, thank you, Desiree, for sharing your information with us.
Yeah, no problem. Have a great
Steve,
day.
you
Oh,
too.
Thank you.
thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. So, Stephen, do you have any other information that we need to take into consideration here?
Are we in public or are we in private? Steve, can't hear you, Steve. Is the volume up?
How about now?
Better.
Now we can.
All right.
Yeah.
Uh, you need to move to go into a closed session to discuss any sensitive personal financial information.
All right. Can I get a motion to go into closed session to discuss this application?
You're mute, Darnell.
Darnell?
I move that we go to a closed session to discuss the application.
I'll second that motion. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right. Great. Let's go into closed session, please.
That's it.
Well, with that, I guess I'll move that we adjourn for today.
Well, somebody still needs to do the tabling motion
Oh,
for the additional
okay.
information.
So let me call for a motion that we table this request until we receive additional information from the applicant.
Second.
All right.
I think you made the motion, Carol.
Well, okay. I thought I could call for the motion, but can I actually make the motion as the chair, I guess? All right. Well, the motion was made and it was seconded. All in favor
Aye.
of tabling till we get more information? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. So it's been moved and approved that we table this discussion and decision until we have a little more information from the applicant. So Stephen, just, tell her we wish her well. We're excited about her business, and some of us plan to visit, but we really need more information.
Okay, I'll be sure to let her know.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we can adjourn the meeting. All right.
Bye, everybody.
Adjourn. Thank you.
Good night.
Mhm.
Bye-bye.